on here. Now, the other cool thing that we've got is a big Army-Navy party downtown. And the thing I love is, I'm reading the headlines, and I'll read them coming up in a second, but let's welcome in a couple of our regulars this time of the year. Former Army, Zach Peyton, brand president for Superior Fence and Rail, and former Navy, Caleb Cronic, financial advisor at Raymond James. They join us as they have in years past. Welcome, Zach. Welcome, Caleb. How are both of y'all doing?
Doing good. Good to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you guys. Shouldn't you just be shouting out, go Navy, go Army right now? I mean,
beat Navy.
Beat
right?
Navy,
Yeah.
go
Beat
Army.
Army is the main chant in my house right now from 4-year-old up.
All right, so the beautiful thing about it is that you guys have been able to pull this thing together through the years, along with many others. So go ahead and tell everybody, because, Caleb, you were bragging on what we're going to have tomorrow inside the bank, which is pretty special.
Well, hey, first, I want to give a shout out to the city of Jacksonville for really being the effort, the main effort here behind putting this all together. And I'll let Caleb fill in the details.
There's been so many other alumni associations tried to pull this off, but they didn't have the city support. So Jacksonville has they made it happen.
Right.
That's how it can happen. But, yes, you get to come watch the Army-Navy game watch party at the Jaguars Stadium on the world's largest TV screens, and it is the largest watch party outside of the game itself.
I mean,
That's
if you read it right there, Matt, it says, join the city of Jacksonville, the U.S. Naval Academy Alumni Association, Jacksonville Chapter, and West Point Society of North Florida. I mean, that's bringing parties together.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. I can tell you, I want to ask this first, okay? Zach, do you guys and Caleb, do you guys like go out for a drink afterward, or you just like literally do not talk to each other?
Not this week. Actually, in fact, we were at an event earlier, and my wife said, Zach might be here. You might want to keep your head on a swivel.
Yeah, Caleb and I do have a beer occasionally. We'll share a meal together.
So you do?
I do
like
like
some random summer day. You do?
I have to pick the dirt out of the
right.
food. For him, they're used to sleeping in the mud. But
I do like to have my kids heckle Caleb on the way to school every day. He drops his child off at the same elementary school that my kids go to.
Right.
And I roll my windows down because I'm in the drop-off lane, and almost every morning he gets a beat Navy from my kids. They get a kick out of it.
My son says, "Daddy, what's wrong with that truck?" And I just say jealousy mainly.
See, that's the beautiful thing, and we've had the privilege of being in the elements with Army Navy up in Philadelphia, and I'm telling you, and I've told you guys this before, and you can echo it because you both have served, but it is one of the most coolest events that I've ever been to see the dedication, the service, the coming together, and then that one day a year where Army does not like Navy and Navy does not like Army. And that you guys have had to have shared in that throughout the years.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Now, I will say I've got a strong rivalry here within the radio station that, this has been running amok for the past couple of years, but don't worry, it's time to turn two. I think, see, JJ, every year, you guys ask me for my prediction.
Right.
And I will say Navy by 10. And then JJ laughs at me. And the amount of disrespect he has shown Bill the Goat, I would like to propose, if JJ's okay with it, even though I think he's chosen Army, so he may be a little afraid.
Yeah.
A straight bet, if I lose, I will bring you guys lunch and wear a shirt that says I am a West Point mule, quote unquote.
Okay.
And if he loses, therefore, if Navy wins and JJ loses, he needs to go to our great Jacksonville Zoo and go pay back some of this disrespect and kiss one of the goats at the petting zoo up there.
JJ, what say you to that bet, huh?
I'm kind of confused. I just picked
will you
Army
kiss
in a contest.
Yeah.
I don't have any. I have no Army affiliation. I don't really care who wins or loses.
But will you kiss a goat? That's really all we're after.
We don't care about any
right
of that,
now.
JJ.
No.
Will you kiss a goat?
JJ's going to kiss a goat.
We might have to convince him to kiss a goat.
Maybe
but
just
I do
a
love
couple
that.
or something.
I do love that. And I know I've asked you guys this before, but the bets are serious. The bets, Zach, when it comes down to what Army is willing to lay down to beat Navy and what Navy's willing to lay down to beat Army.
Yeah, no, it's a serious game. We take it seriously. I think this year I'm calling Army by 3.
Mm-hmm.
Navy's come on strong in the second half of the season, and Army's had a good year, but not their best. So I'm calling Army by 3.
Army by 3. Caleb, your prediction?
I'm sticking with a Navy by 10. I would go more, but we do try to show respect.
You can't count higher than 10, so that's why.
All right, now.
Hey, real quick. Have either of you guys been actually on the field during marching
100%.
Yes.
Every year.
Really?
Yeah. Every year for 4 years while we were there.
So explain what that's like for everybody listening.
Well, it's actually kind of a miserable experience if you're a cadet or a midshipman, because in the military they say, hey, you got to be here. Everybody's got to be here at this time for the march on. Let's say it's 2:00, right? Well, then every unit below that backs off 30 minutes or 45 minutes so they can get accountability.
Right,
so the entire brigade is accountable at, 1:15, and then every battalion is accountable at 12:15, and then the companies are accountable an hour before that. So you end up sitting out there, and I think it's the same for the Naval Academy.
What that backs up to for us is you get on a bus at 3:30 in the morning from Annapolis.
Incredible.
And
then go stand in the cold.
You stand in the cold for
4 to 6 hours.
Yeah,
and then go, and those uniforms that you see on TV, they may look warm, but they are 100% not.
Yeah,
Really? Not at all warm.
That wool's not capturing anything.
No.
But I did a little throwback Thursday yesterday, and I sent out on IG and on Twitter being on the field for March On, and it was snowing a few years back, and it was just one of the coolest scenes ever for me. All right, so tell everybody how they can have a cool Saturday afternoon. Give them the details again.
So the gates will open at 2:00. You can show up over at Lot C's where you're parking over the east end zone area, and you can come in. It's a suggested $5 donation. To get in there, all that money goes to the K-9s for Warriors and City of Jacksonville Veteran Fund. We'll have concessions that are there. You can either stay inside if the weather's not to your liking, or if you can sit outside on the old balcony area, see it up on the big screen. We'll have some JROTC units out there doing color guard, and we'll this year have a flyover. And anytime you've got a flyover or a watch party, we're starting to get there. So it'll be a good time.
That's pretty cool. Gates open at 2. We're talking down at the bank, TIAA Bank Field. Gates open at 2. Game starts at 3. $5 donation, as Caleb just said, but free parking in Lot C. Zach Peyton, Caleb Cronic, Army and Navy. Thank you, fellas, very much.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, as always, for your service.